What's up, and welcome to this episode of Sunday Driver. We're out here at Apple Valley Speedway on a small private track day, and Quinn here has brought out this gnarly MX-5 that is far from stock. Tell me about this thing, man. It looks crazy.
Hey guys, my name's Quinn. This is my 1993 turbo Mazda Miata. I'm sorry, it's a 91. It's the 1.6. It's turbo. It's forged engine, pistons and rods, and it's got a BMW transmission from a E46 and a Cadillac CTS diff. It's currently running 408 wheel horsepower.
Oh my gosh.
Tuned, and the engine was built by Toby and Advanced Engine Dynamics in Orange County.
So what made you want to go with the 1.6 versus the 1.8?
It started off just because it was the engine in the car, and then now it's kind of just this underdog thing where I kind of make as much, do as much as I can with the worse off engine.
Yeah, dude, I love that. Yeah. So how long have you had it?
About 4.5 years.
Yeah. And you got it, you started from just a completely stock car and then ended up here.
And I slapped a turbo on it, made 200, and it's just been step by step going farther and farther and breaking more and more parts.
Are you running ethanol?
Yeah, it's on E85 right now. It's got a flex fuel system, so you can run any blend of pump to E85, whatever.
So do you have to do like a separate tune, or you just put whatever you have in there and it basically figures it out for you?
Yeah, you put whatever in. It's on
That's killer.
Mega Squirt Pro, and it's got, you know, a gas table and an E85 table, and we'll blend them together.
That is super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it runs cooler too, I bet.
Yeah, it does.
Having that much power under a little hood definitely helps.
The battle is definitely heat.
Yeah. So do you run an intercooler on it?
I do run an intercooler. It's just a CX racing deal. It's pretty cheap. Thinking about going a little bit bigger in the future.
Yeah. So do you ever get overheating problems as is?
No, not really. I mean, on track days like this, she'll get hot and I'll have to do a couple cool down laps.
Right.
But, you know, any driving around town or canyon runs, it's perfectly fine.
Right.
Any temp, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty standard. Yeah. Most people can't just hot lap it all day long, you know? Yeah. So have you ever raced against like what would the performance of this be comparable to for like another stock car?
I would say the closest stock race, I don't know if it was completely stock, maybe like an intake exhaust deal, but it was a Camaro ZR1, and he was just barely walking away from me. I was just right with him. So
the supercharged one?
The super, like 600 horsepower plus.
Oh my gosh.
So it's right there with the ZR1. Yeah.
Dude, that is so nutty. Because it's such like a small and unassuming car, and then to have that level of performance it's pretty awesome.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun in a little package.
What about on the interior? Did you do anything different there? Is this the hard dog roll bar?
Interior, this is Zarek Fab. He's a smaller fabricator. He used to make a bunch of these.
So is this a one-off, or is it like a...
No, he made a whole bunch of them. He makes a ton of them for Miatas, and I think he's moved on to some bigger things now. He had a pro drift car that he ran around in. As far as the interior, it's pretty stock.
Is that the European steering wheel?
It is. It's the European Miata steering wheel.
I love that.
I like it a lot.
Yeah. No airbag on that one?
No airbags to be found.
Yeah.
And the shifter is IRP, but other than that, the interior is pretty much factory. Save a couple gauges and whatnot.
That shifter looks like it wants to go fast.
It works quick, and you know we're in the gear.
Yeah. Yeah, tell me about that gauge setup. That looks pretty awesome.
That's the rev limiter gauge cluster. It is the Fighter Type 2 is the name of the design. And it's actually, now that I think of it, it's an NB gauge cluster because the BMW transmission uses an electronic speedometer, and Miata needs a mechanical signal, so we had to switch that around to get the speedo working.
Okay. Yeah. Dude, I love it. NB or NA is definitely on my list. I do love the ND, but these are just so cool. They're just so simple. Like there's nothing, even though the ND I would say is like one of the simplest cars that you can buy right now. Like it's just so, I don't know.
Yeah, it hits the spot for me.
Yeah. So any plans for it? Or are you kind of, I tell people like you get to the enjoyment phase, you know, and then you just kind of, you know, you enjoy it.
I have an issue personally where it's just never quite enough for me, and I always have to keep pushing to the next step. So
Spoken like a true turbo guy.
yeah, so I'm looking to upgrade the turbo again and
Oh my
get
gosh.
a hopefully faster spooling, but very similar horsepower
Okay.
setup. So maybe right at the 410, maybe 420 if I'm lucky.
Right.
And a little bit more response.
So what turbo is this then? Can we see under the hood?
Absolutely. So currently on the car is a GPX 2860 Gen 2, and it has a 72 AR exhaust housing, and that leads to some pretty significant lag. The boost doesn't come in till about 41, 4300.
Yeah.
So I'd like to get that down to like in the 3000 RPM range, 3500 or something like that. So I'm looking at the G25 turbo with the 49 AR exhaust housing, so a much smaller housing.
Okay.
Get that gas.
But it'll still spool quickly, make
Should
similar boost.
Spool up quicker, and it's rated for a little bit more horsepower, but it's a smaller housing, so we're fighting restriction, but it's a better turbo,
Right.
open for about the same power,
Right.
but more response.
Yeah, it's crazy how far turbo technology has come in the past couple of years. Like,
Really though, it's amazing what you can do now.
yeah. Dude, I love it. What about this exhaust manifold?
That was made by Humble Engineering, also up in Orange County. The guy's name's Ryan. He does absolutely magnificent.
So this is a one-off.
That's a custom job. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Dude. What about the suspension setup on it?
Suspension is Feel 411. It's pretty good. It's 12K in the front, and I believe 8K in the rear.
Wow.
I'm unsure on the rear, but I'm sure the front is 12.
That's pretty stiff.
Yeah, it's pretty stiff. I like it though.
Yeah.
Helps out a lot.
We'll see how he does drifting all-wheel drive. I don't know.
Get some good hot laps in.
Anyways, why don't we get off the track and give him some space.
And then with that on, if you're like, let's say you're in second, all the way to the top of the RPM,
Yeah.
you can push the clutch, keep your foot all the way down on the gas.
Yeah.
Lower the revs to the exact RPM of the next gear. Shove it in, let it go, never let off, never blew off, never lost boost.
Oh my gosh.
It's ready to go. It's kind of like an automatic almost at that point.
So launch control and flat foot shifting.
Yep.
Dude,
Double.
this thing is crazy.
It's decked out. It's decked out.
Oh my gosh. This is a forever car.
It is.
I can tell.
This is my forever car. I'm not getting rid of this one.
Let's get it.
A little bit of a warm up and then we'll hit it.